Hey, it's been a while, at least for me. We're doing 14 Final Fantasy, and yeah, let's get to it. You're Yo, aren't you? Just the woman I was after, as it happens. Our old Keterum tasked me with finding you. She says she's got a proposition for you. Stay right there. I'll go fetch him. Apologies for collaring you like this, but I was hoping we could parlay before you took leave of Toliolo. I'll cut right to the chase. I want you on board for me final expedition. Before I get into the particulars, allow me to spin a quick yarn. These days, any Eorzean worth their salt bound for Terrell will take the established route and skirt the Northern Indigo Deep. But back when maps of the realm were nothing but blank parchments past Vilburn, all we had was the allure of the horizon to guide us. Most of me fellow explorers weighed anchor and cut course due west, headed straight for adventure. Alas, most were lost to the waves. Mikura and I reached Terrell on account of us dragging northward and avoiding the same treacherous waters that claimed them. That stretch of the deep came to be known as Shade's Triangle. I had a notion to solve its mysteries on behalf of my fallen comrades, but after arriving on these shores, it was the land, not the sea, that promised adventures anew. Once I'd settled here and disbanded the expedition, and I never did get the opportunity. But then I crossed paths with a certain well-renowned adventurer and began to wonder. Aye, something told me that with your help I'd finally shed light on the mystery of those accursed waters. So how about it? Will you join this old explorer on one final jaunt? You have the mystery. Not to worry. I propose all this with the full backing of the Dawn Servants. Truth be told, even before Gulu Jaja asked me to watch over Kalana and Wok Lamat, I feared I'd never sail again. Any road. I sensed the pair were wise to me worrying, so I laid it all to bear. And you say the people of Shade's Triangle have haunted you since. The region of which you speak is an impediment to trade with foreign nations. Any effort to unravel its secrets would ultimately benefit Toliolo. Sounds like it might be the last chance you get, especially if you're hoping to get Yo involved. Besides, Papa would turn in his grave if we barred his old friend from one final voyage. I say follow your heart, Tankawa. I'm sure you'll be wanting more details, but I'd like to set sail sooner rather than later. Let's reconvene once we put a few moms between us and the harbor. The ship is ready and waiting. Had her sent over from Hunza especially. When you're ready, speak with Olfagrim over on the pier. Yo, I presume. Kataram told me all about you. The name's Ophagan Fangam, navigator by trade. They say Shade's Triangle is racked with storms year-round, but a closer look at the charts will tell you that ain't strictly true. For a brief season, the sky's clear and the sea's calm, hence why the old explorer is eager to weigh anchor. What's the matter? Don't tell me you're wary of clambering onto this little rowboat. We're not rowing all the way to Shade's Triangle. Our vessel's waiting out beyond the shallows. Any road, when you get him prepared to leave, just say the word. Ready to plot a course for waters unknown, are ye? Don't know whether to respect your mettle or question your sanity, but welcome aboard Shade's Triangle. Shade's Triangle. Here we come. Plane stalling thus far. Might be time to talk about our destination. Shade's Triangle. Is a churning mess of storms. Every time a vessel goes missing in the region, most blame the treacherous conditions. But hear this, there are records of the last ship seeking to chart those waters, and the message they relayed to their escort is passing strange. Conditions fair, crescent-shaped isle is sighted in vicinity, potential safe haven during storms, attempting to make landfall. They never made it back to port despite the calm seas. Folks have taken to calling the island occult crescent ever since. They say it's not but a shifting mirage that claims the lives of all who sight it. Everyone on board knows the risk involved on a voyage like this, but there ain't nothing like the thrill of the unknown to trump good sense. Aye. The whiff of mystery and the promise of a new discovery is hard to resist. Am I right in thinking the same applies to you, adventurer? Anyhow, why don't you get acquainted with the rest of the crew? I'll be here checking the charts. Once you've got the measure of the folks risking their hides along with you, come and find me. This ain't my first trip to these waters. I sailed close to Shade's Triangle to survey the weather many a time. Only on the clearest days, when the sea is flat as grass, do you get a glimpse of the isle. It looks unremarkable from a distance, but that's exactly what the poor bastard who went missing must have thought. Never did pluck up the courage to take a closer peek, curious as I was. But when I heard Kataram was leading an expedition into the heart of the triangle, I signed right up. Don't get me wrong, I've still got me reservations, but when I think of whatever is waiting for us in those waters, it's the excitement that wins out. Conditions in the Shade's Triangle are perfect today. I poured over every element of the charts, and away My grandfather once sailed with Caterum. He was right there with him when they first made landfall on Tyrrell. But it wasn't Tyrrell they were aiming for. They left Eorzea westward, bound for Hingashi. They didn't count on a great big continent lying between them and their destination. Once they were ashore, they soon forgot all about the Far East. Eventually, my grandfather settled, and here I am, 3 generations later. By all accounts, journeying with the Caterum is life-changing. I mean that in the best possible sense, of course. I visited Eorzea once or twice, but I'm a Tyrrelli through and through. This isn't some foolhardy treasure hunt. No, solving this isle secrets will be worth more than any glittering trinkets. And if we can open up safe passage to the island, there's potential to establish a permanent landing. Just imagine the boon to foreign trade that would bring. All of which is to say there's more at stake here than lining our pockets. Given the isolation of the island, some of our financiers think it may be harboring a wealth of untapped natural resources. We'll conduct a preliminary survey at any rate. There's no telling what awaits us on the island, which is why we've enlisted the help of experts and artisans to supplement our crew. There's one fellow we're all wishing we'd steered clear of, though. After we left port, I caught and grazed the crazed fool trying to launch one of the lifeboats. We managed to lock him in that hole, but the good we all set about drinking all the rum in sight. In the end, we tied him up and stuffed him in one of the barrels he drained dry. He became so highly recommended that it seems we've hired nothing more than a drunken lunatic. What are we to do with him? Sailing straight and true. Looks like you had a good chat with the crew. That's the thing with seafaring. A close-knit crew is indispensable out on the open sea. I know there's talk about me feats in reaching Tyrrell, but in truth, I couldn't have done it without me fellow explorers. Wherever the wind might take us, I consider it my duty to get us all there and back in one piece. Right, we'll be entering Shade's Triangle any moment now. Look sharp. Land ho. Hold steady. We sail straight for her. Aye aye. Huh, where's that blasted island? We just had it in our sights. Land spotted off the starboard stern. What? Don't tell me we careen right past it. Get this hunk turned around. Lost sight of the damn thing again. Shifting mirage was right on the money. If the isle itself is moving, the waves be surging right over the bulwark. This is no natural phenomenon. Something's messing with our perception. You deserved. Heed my call. Who are you talking to? Strange voice, you say? I didn't hear a thing. What in the... I've lost control of the rudder. It's like something's reeling us in. Gods. It could be this island, couldn't it? How's the hull looking? No obvious damage, but the ship struck fast, almost as if we dropped anchor. Perfectly docked in without a single scratch. There ain't a helmsman alive who could have managed that. I fear she'll end up like that if we try and shift her. I reckon we were brought here by some sort of arcane trickery. Trapped too, most likely. Magicked right into our destination. Quite the stroke of luck if you ask me. Well, there's nothing for it but to get this expedition underway. With the ship pinned in place, there's not much we can't do except take a look around. No aetherite. Okay. That voice you heard on the ship, I'm starting to wonder whether that wasn't some kind of summons. I'm glad to have you with us regardless. As for the isle itself, I'd assume it was uninhabited. Certainly wasn't expecting to come across this phantom village. Like as not, there's some sort of ward encompassing the island to keep us here. That said, there's a chance ethereal currents could circumvent the ward, assuming you can tap into one. Might be worth a try if your adventure calls you elsewhere. Any road, as much as I'd like to gather the crew and get stuck right in, we better secure the perimeter first. Oh, and I thought I'd give you a journal to jot down your findings along the way. Figure there's more than a few folks out there who'd appreciate a record of your exploits here. Fill those pages and give them something to sink their teeth into. I'll stay here and keep an eye on the ship. The two of you better secure the area. Dude, this place is cool. Not a single soul about. No use pondering, though. We better look around while Elfangam stands guard. As long as the ship's safe, so are all the provisions on board. And that means one less worry while we're getting our bearings. Let me know if you find anything of interest. Likely carved by skilled hands, the aether-infused stone exudes a faint glow. It is unclear whether this stone emits light naturally or some internal mechanism is causing the illumination. The foliage choking the building and overall state of decay suggests it has been abandoned for some time, left to the mercy of the elements. That's cool. Two shipwrecks are visible in the eerie still bay. No doubt once crewed by brave sailors seeking the inner reaches of the Shades Triangle. Judging from their location, the vessels must have sunk while attempting to leave the island. There is no telling whether the souls on board were also lost to the waves. You have finished investigating the area. Karen will be keen to know of your findings. I'm guessing you're no closer to solving this isle's mysteries either. Looking at these structures, I'd say the settlement's ancient. The original inhabitants may be long gone, but I was half hoping to find a few survivors from the wrecks at the very least. Anyhow, this building in particular took me interest. I managed to force the lock. I don't want you to think I make a habit of breaking locks and general skullduggery, other than when strictly necessary, of course. Let's take a look inside, shall we? A sarcophagus, do you reckon? I wouldn't get too close if I were you. I sense arcane trickery afoot. These candles ain't being kept alight by natural means, that's for damn sure. Huh, just as I thought. Experience tells me a war like this will have us jumping through hoops to dispel it. Only we ye deserve may claim. There's that voice again. Didn't hear a thing. If they're addressing you in particular, methinks that ward might yield to you. Not sure which is more confounding mystery, your magic touch or this godforsaken rock we're standing on. A tonberry. Ah, thoroughly refreshed and raring to go. And who might you two be? Wasn't expecting the common tongue. You take me for some benighted fool. Ah, but perhaps a valid supposition given my current form. You stand before the archive, the very definition of erudition. Hurry up and introduce yourselves. Yo, is it? Those keen searching eyes of yours. Clearly you have an inquisitive mind like no other, save my own, that is. I'm Keterim, an explorer hailing from Limsa Limonza. We're here on an expedition backed by the nation of Toliolo. Limsa what now? Toliolo? I visited each of the 12 city-states and learned all there is to know about their peoples and cultures. But those names ring unfamiliar. To think a whole nation would elude me. Tell me, when exactly was this Toliolo founded? The 7th astral era? I moved to the island to avoid spreading the affliction that left me as you see, and promptly fell into a deep slumber. If memory serves, such a plague swept the realm at the end of the 5th astral era. But that mean you've been asleep for more than 1,500 years. That would explain why I feel so rested. Now that I'm awake, I should very much like to see what has become of the isle. I certainly don't recall the memorial fountain being so begrimed with algae. Perhaps you do speak the truth. And this strange aether I sense pervading the island, could it be a word of sorts? Huh. The noggin's still foggy after that eon's long slumber. There was a time when I knew all kinds of things. The name of every battle, the weight of all the riches in the world to the ounce. I was a wise old man, a gushing font of knowledge. Say, I could be a real boon for your expedition once I get up to speed. I shall join you on your endeavors. Seeing as there's nothing in the settlement out to kill us, I think it's time we get the crew ashore and earning their keep. I'll be right back. Hopefully we can learn more about the isle from our newfound car and spurator. Oh yeah. Alright. Yeah. Would you care to elaborate on what brought you here? So the Isles lies in the hearts of Shade's Triangle, and many a ship has gone missing in these waters. You mentioned the wrecks out in the bay. It's not unreasonable to think some of those sailors would have made it ashore. Why did no one try to wake me? but your burly companion was able to force the lock. I dare say younger, swarthier sailors would have been had even less trouble getting that door open. You mean to imply that someone summoned you here? Clearly it wasn't me. I've been sound asleep for the last few millennia, give or take. Wait, a tantalizing conundrum. What a tantalizing conundrum. We simply must get to the bottom of this. Oh, fairies exist in the Eorzea? Is it knowledge you seek? Huh. What manner of creature is this? Excuse me. A familiar, methinks. Looks like the fairy employed by Neiman scholars of Eld. Was it you who summoned her? Me? Preposterous. I would have summoned something more statisque. How rude. My name is Iris, and I certainly wasn't called forth by a wizened little wretch like you. Wizen? You mean wise, you putrid little whelp. Honestly, who would ever summon a companion so lacking in manners? I know exactly what I meant, and you, sir, are lacking in wisdom. A seal has been placed upon your worldly knowledge, thus preventing its use. You can only speak of that which the lithe individual over here has seen and learned firsthand. Is that so? Well, that explains why I can't muster the faintest mote of magic. I tried to heal myself earlier, to no avail. Certain centuries of sleep on that cold stone slab really took its toll on my lower back. Enough of you and your aching bones. Iris, where's your master? Let me try a different tack. Why were ye summoned here? I don't know. Looks like someone else had their knowledge sealed away. If I'm wizened and lacking wisdom, then you're not but an unfamiliar. Ahem. I'll tell you one thing. That fairy was steeped in the same ether permeating the island. As I surmised, there's a strange ward covering the isle in its entirety. No doubt those ships in the bay were caught in its pull. Well, wars can't just cast themselves, meaning someone's responsible for those poor souls who perish in Shade's Triangle. Methinks our focus ought to be finding out what we can about this individual, and let's not forget the strange voice you keep hearing. For all we know, it could be connected in some way. Right, let's go speak with Jeffrey over yonder. He ought to have a word on progress at the base camp. You'll be pleased to hear that preparations are well underway. I sent the advance party to scout ahead while the ship's being unloaded. They've already found an ideal spot to stage forays into the island's southern reaches, and are setting up camp as we speak. When you're ready to head out, just say the word. Once you're out in the field, you'll have to speak with Kent around and decide how to proceed. The support crew will be stationed here in town, but be sure to avail yourself of their services if you need. And if you're after a weapons switch, word is we hired a truly remarkable craftsman for the expedition. Judging by his reputation, he'll soon have your weapons honed to deadly perfection. The smithy be set up over yonder. Do drop by if you're interested. Well, that's all for me. Give me a shot when you're ready to make for the encampment. Okay. Wow. Such hustle, such bustle. The town is awash with sailors. Say, I hope you find some time in between gallivanting about to teach me this Tolio lull. We'll begin by exploring the crescent southern Orin. When you get prepared, speak with Jeffrey. Okay. Back to it. Sure. Oh, I don't know if I want to do this yet. game. Alright. I'm gonna call it here. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. And I will maybe do occult crescent stuff when it's more complete. Right now I'm not gonna grind for it. Yeah, so that's the end of the video, I think. Unless there is one more thing I can do, actually. Where is it? Oh. Yep. That's actually gonna be it for this video. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on the flip side. Peace.